don'ts. Etiquette, bets, lays, also direct lays if you want to bet against the number. It's not a strategy I recommend, but it is a style of playing. And we're going to get right to it in just a second. So first, I got to tell you that we have a fan event coming up. It's called Fan Foolery. It's on April 5th. And we're going to have, it's here in Las Vegas, and you can find out more about it on either one of our sites, but casinoquest.biz. And we also, anyways, it's coming up on the 5th, April 5th. We're going to have a crazy hat contest, DGen poker contest, tournaments, stuff like this, play bingo, go to the casino, all that stuff. All right. We also have quite a bit of strategies, quite a few strategies on our CQ Nexus, cqnexus.com. And if you go to the homepage, you get a free download from there. There's another free download. We actually have a free strategy. It's called the Baton Rouge. How do you get to the strategy? Do you remember?
No, sorry.
It's posted on that. Damn. But anyways, at cqnexus.com, you can go there. Anyways, it's on the compendium. It might be cqnexus.com/strategy.
Or free.
Or free. That's what it is. It's cqnexus.com/free. And there's a free strategy. It's the Baton Rouge, and everybody's been enjoying that. Okay, so let's get to it. One last thing. We have just finished 2 years of filming, almost a year of editing, 2 terabytes. Crap Dealer course is on its way. It's being rendered. We have to do some B-roll and some worksheets, stuff like this, but we're expecting to have it up very quickly. So it's a massive, it's been a massive undertaking, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So that's coming to the Nexus here, cqnexus.com, pretty soon. All right, let's get to the don'ts. We're going to break this down into a few basic tenets. The first thing is etiquette. Etiquette on the don'ts is very simple. You want to play the don'ts in stealth mode whenever possible. That's really the key. So when I say stealth mode, a lot of people see it as you betting against the table, even though it's really just another way to play. There is this misnomer that somehow if you're betting on the don'ts, you're betting with the casino. But you know what? The casino is happy for you to play either side. No one really cares. So the don'ts is just really another way of playing, but it will piss off players. So here's my recommendation. Number one, kind of manners is key, and recognizing that just because you're playing the don'ts doesn't mean that you're any different or better or whatever the case is. You know, play, be nice. Don't talk about the 7. Don't say, hey, I need a 7, I want a 7, I need a 7. It's really bad manners to talk about the 7, especially when we're out on a number. So don't say 7. Now, if you happen to be the shooter and you're betting the don'ts, which I'm not sure you can even see that. Dennis had to step away a second. He's a little sicky today. But so if you're the shooter and you're betting on the don'ts, or from the don'ts, the stick person has to announce it. So the stick person will say, hey, we have a shooter shooting from the don'ts. I used to say shooting from the will. And so that way everybody else knows that you're shooting for the don'ts. Because some people don't like to bet on people who bet from the don'ts. All right, poor Dennis had to dub. Dennis, can't let me hang. I need you guys to see the layout now. We gotta focus on the bets. All right, I'm gonna try to pull you up. Hey, buddy, can you see the table?
Give me a second.
Oh, they can't hear me?
I had to grab my computer for something.
Oh,
So.
You back? All right, buddy. All right, a little momentary abs. All right, so let's get to it. Let's show you how to bet. So first off is this: you can only bet the don't pass when the puck is off, when we're starting a new game. Okay, so here we go. Let's assume that you're going to bet the don't pass. Now, you have to bet and win the table minimum, which actually comes into place on the don't pass. It doesn't actually play a role in the other areas of the game. And when I say bet and win, we're going to learn about that in a second. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to imagine that we have a $10 player, a $15 player, and a $25 player. Look at that. Almost got it. All right. Now, the good news for a lot of dealers out there is you'll probably not see a whole lot of don't pass players all at the same time, unless the table gets, of course, ridiculously cold, and then everybody pounds the don't pass, at least for a moment. Okay. So you have to bet here when the puck is off, okay? Before we have a number, okay? That's number one, right? And you have to bet, obviously, whatever the table minimum is. We're going to assume a $10 table minimum. Now, here's an interesting thing, and I'm going to put a pass line bettor out here just to say we have a pass line bettor so I can show you the difference in the relationship between these two bets. When you bet the pass line, you are betting a contract with the casino, meaning if once we get a number, this bet must stay. You cannot reduce or remove the pass line. You have a contract with the casino. Okay, if you take this money away, you put yourself in jeopardy. Big security guard will come by and say, "Hey, you're stealing." Now, the don't pass is very differently, and here it's very different. And here's where a lot of people have a little aha moment. Let's say, for example, the point is off. We're starting a brand new game. We roll the dice, and the point's now 8. Okay. What you're going to see is don't pass people pick up their money. This is not a contract bet. You can actually reach down, pick up your money, okay, and take it off, and you can wait out the roll. You don't have to be against the 8, right? Okay, now let's reset this. There might be a few of you out there, I just realized, who don't know dice all that well, so let's make this poignant for everyone. So on the come out roll, we're starting a new game, and the puck is off. The pass line needs a 7 or 11 to win. 7-11 wins, okay? On the don't pass, it's basically almost the opposite. 7-11 will lose on the don't pass, okay? 7-11 loses. Pass line will lose on a 2-3 or 12. The don't pass will win on the 2-3 push on the 12, bar on the 12, okay? So that's the one difference. And the reason for that is so that you can't have a pass line and don't pass at the same time, because in this case, it's what they call a do-we-don't system, where the pass line loses and then push. So if it was exactly even, you would have people, if without the 12, okay, to push, you'd have people doing something like this, you see, making a $10 game into a $2 game. And now really, for all intents and purposes, they'd only be risking the $2, right? So for that 12, they're risking the 12, right? If a 12 comes, they lose a pass line, and this is a push, okay? All right, let's get back to it. All right, so again, contract bet, not a contract bet. The pass line can be bet any time. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize. Let's say, for example, we come out on the point of 8, okay? And we have someone over here who missed betting the pass line. You know what they could do? They could go ahead and put money on the pass line if they wanted to. It would be a terrible thing and a terrible time and a terrible bet. But there are people who just don't know the game and will bet the pass line after the point is established, all right? The best time to bet the pass line, of course, is when the puck is here because you have 8 ways to win. You have 8 ways to win. All right, close that. You have 8 ways to win on the pass line, so it's a great roll on what they call the coming out roll. The bad bet here is the don't pass bet, right? Because now you have 8 ways to lose on the don't pass bet, so not necessarily the best bet. But once you have a number, okay, let's say the number is 9, we come out on the point of 9. Now the pass line needs a 9 again to win, and the don't pass needs a 7 before the 9. So the pass line would need a 9 before 7, don't pass needs a 7 before the 9. Now the pass line is a terrible bet because there's more ways of getting a 7. There are 6 ways to get a 7, only 4 ways of getting the 9, right? Whereas the don't pass is a great bet because there are 6 ways of winning, of getting the 7, and only 4 ways of getting the 9. But amazingly, you'll have people pick this bet up, decide that they don't want to bet against the shooter, even after they've gotten past that coming out roll. Okay, now let's start this from the beginning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll some dice, give you guys a little bit organic, and just show you this real quickly, and then we're going to get to the lays. So here I rolled a 4, hard way. Dealer would take the puck and mark the 4. Pass line's on a 4. Don't pass is on the 7. They want to see the 7 before the 4. Now they're in a really good position. The odds are 2-1 that a 7's going to roll before the 4, right? So that's what they call true odds. There are 6 ways of the 7. There's only 3 ways of the 4, so 2-1, okay, are the odds of any roll, of any given roll, of a 7, of a 4 coming as opposed to 7. Okay. Now, this is where a person on the pass line could go ahead and take odds. Okay, so let's say they take $20 odds. Well, guess what? Those odds are going to pay true odds. And that's where you'll hear the casino tell you, hey, what a fantastic bet. You can bet odds here. You put it right behind your pass line, and now you're getting true odds. You're getting 2 to 1, right? So if another 4 would win, you're going to get 40. One pile will pay 2 pile, and this will pay even money. Now, the opposite is true of the don't pass, and this is where we get into what we call reverse odds or a lay on the don't pass. So if you have a flat bet here, you can bet the reverse odds. So now for every 2 you bet, you will win 1. But here, the caveat is you have to bet and win the table minimum. So that means you'd have to bet at least $20 to win $10, okay? So you'd win half. So on the 4 and 10, anything you put there for reverse odds is going to pay half. So for example, if you would have put 50 here, right, it would win $25 if the point was 4 or 10. Now, for those of you who are playing on what's called 3, 4, 5 times tables, where they let you take 3 times, 4 times, 5 times your flat bet, okay, as odds, you can lay up to 6 times your flat bet on the don'ts for every number, okay? So for example, we have this $10 here on the pass line. If we're at a 3 times, 4 times, 5 times casino, that means you could take 3 times your flat or $30 max odds if the point's 4 or 10. If the point's 5 and 9, we can take 4 times, so in this case 40 for this person, and if it was 5 times 3, 4, 5, we could take $50 odds. Okay, now there are some casinos in town, like station casinos for specifically, that let you take 10 times odds, which means you could go ahead and take $100 odds here on that 10. And the way I teach my students, if you go to a 10 times odds place, is whatever the odds pay is what you can lay, because it's the exact opposite. See, we have a $10 player on the pass line. We have a $10 player on the don't pass. If this player was on the pass line, they could take 100 odds to win 200. So that means they can lay 200 to win 100. You see? What the odds pay is what you can lay. And now we know, let's do this. So here, to make it a little more clear, okay? I know for some of you this is going to be a little advanced. This is a little bit of an advanced course for those of you familiar, at least to some degree, with the crap table. It's kind of hard to break all these down and answer the questions, but we'll get to that in a minute. So keep your questions. Dennis is staying ahead of it, because now we're going to go into reverse odds. I'm going to go into direct lays, how to set up the direct lays, how to communicate with the dealer. Okay. So here we have, if you're on a 10 times odds play, right? If you had $10 on the line times 10, it's $100. That would be the maximum odds you can take. Those odds would pay $200. So that means if you bet $10 on the don't pass, the same thing, right? You can lay or take reverse odds of 200 to win 100. Okay? So basically, they're the exact opposite. If a 7 rolls, right? If another 4 rolls, you basically could take this don't pass money and put it right there and pay that person. Okay? So they're direct inverse relationship to each other. And when we're talking about being a dealer, we want to understand these relationships because we spend more time working with pass line players, right? So if you understand the pass line and the odds over and over and over again, once you start having a don't pass player, it's so easy to kind of lean into that auction and take advantage of it. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's go back to a 3, 4, 5 times table, because there's more of those. So if I have $10 on the pass line, I can take 30 odds, and that means 6 times 10, 60. 30 will win $60, you see? So that's what I can take. If we have $15 on the pass line, and we're in a 3, 4, 5 table, the point's 4, I could take $45 odds, and you guessed it, it pays 90, right? So that's what this person can lay. Or 6 times 15 is the same thing. Now, if we had a $25 line better, right, they could take $75 odds. Have I lost everybody? This will be further. Okay, if I would take $75 odds, which we know is going to win 150, right? So that means that $25 flat bet on the don't on this table, they could lay or take reverse odds of 150 to win $75. Okay, so all I'm showing you is the relationship. These are pass line bettors. These are don't pass bettors. And again, we're going to have many more pass line bettors over the course of our history as dealers and even as players. There's more of us players on the light side, what's called the light side, as opposed to the dark side, which is here. Okay, all right. Now, so that's a basic introduction to the lay, and I'm gonna go down we're gonna get rid of these pass line bets now that you guys know the inverse relationship, and now we're gonna talk about what you can lay. Okay, so here's the thing. We know that the 4 and 10 is 2 to 1. The 5 and 9 is 3 to 2 when it comes to the odds. Okay, so we know the true odds of 4 and 10, 2 to 1. 3 to 2, right? 6 to 5, okay? So the opposite is true with the don't pass, okay? So on the pass line, 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 6 to 5, those are the true odds. So the opposite is true on the don't pass. 1 to 2, right? 2 to 3, 5 to 6. So that means that if the point is 4 or 10, every 2 is going to pay 1. Every 2 chips, every 2 colors, whatever the case, is going to pay half. Whatever you bet, you get half. So if you bet $40, you're going to get 20 and 10. Okay, so the flat bet always plays flat, right? And because you're favored to win, right, you have to bet more to win less. More to win less. Can they see this bet? No? Okay, so if you lay 40, right, what bets can they see?
What do you want them to see?
Well, right here is fine. I'll keep it tight.
Here, I'll just have to hold it.
Are you sure? Really? You want me just to do these two? What about just these two? I can just do those two.
Go for it.
All right, just do these two so you don't have to hold it. Poor Dennis is a little sicky today. So they have to see these 3 and just this area right here.
Yeah, they can see it now.
Okay, good?
Yeah.
Just this area. Okay, perfect. Good. Dennis got to blow his nose, though, okay? All right, we love ourselves some Dennis, don't we? All right, yay to Dennis. Okay, hope you feel better, buddy. Okay, so here we have 40, pay 20. So we don't always have to do maximum lays. We can bet some other variation. So when we lay on the 4 and 10, it's got to be an even amount. Any even amount will pay half, okay? So here we have 15. We can go all the way up to 90, right? But we can bet 60. We can bet 60, right, to win 30, this kind of thing, okay? All right, and so forth and so on. All right, now let's get to super exciting 5 and 9, right? So 5 and 9, every 3 is going to pay 2, okay? Every 3 is going to pay 2, so we have to lay in units of 3. So if we have $15, it's going to pay 2. 3 red's going to pay 2 red. If we bet $45, right, it's 3 units of 15. It's going to pay 2 units of 15. It's going to be $30. If we lay $75, it's going to be 3 green. It's going to pay 2 green. Okay. Now, anytime you put your lay down on the bet, you just set it down right next to your flat bet and tell the dealer, I want to lay. Now, the reason why I tell you just to communicate to the dealer that you want to lay is because very often either you don't know the correct lay or you don't know how to set it up correctly. All right. So let the dealer is not going to mind whatsoever. They'll be very happy that you're communicating to them. And then in this case, this would be what they call a bridge. You don't need to know any of that. But that way, if you go ahead and put $50 here and say, I'd like a lay, the dealer can change. They realize that they see that it's the wrong units, and they can set it up for you and make it a correct unit. So no one's asking, by the way, you players to know what the units are. You just know approximately what you're willing to bet. You can always ask too, hey, I would like to win X amount of dollars, and they can help you understand, how much you need to lay. So for dealers out there, the lay, flat bet, lay, flat bet. If the player starts over here, you're going to move it in front, and the lay comes first before the flat bet. Okay, lay before the flat bet. Okay, now let's do this. So let's do it here. Let me just finish with the 6 and 8. So on the 6 and 8. I have a little saying, every check needs a mate. Well, it's the exact opposite for the lays. So here's the thing, though. Most of you people, I mean you. You guys know place bets. So if you know place bets, here's a little secret. A good place bet on the 6 and 8 is also a good lay. A good place bet on the 6 and 8. So that means you know a $12 place bet on 6 and 8, that's a good bet. That means it also makes a good lay. Okay, you know that $30 is a good bet on 6 and 8. That's also a good lay. Okay, so anything that's a good place that would also be a good place bet on 6 and 8, is also a good lay. And check this out. If you're familiar with some of my videos, I talk about how every check needs a mate on the 6 and 8. Every green needs a red, every red needs a white, so forth and so on, okay? Now, guess what? The opposite is true when you pay the lay on the don't pass, okay? So watch this. Let's say, for instance, you know $30 place bet is good on the 6 and 8, right? So you have a $10 flat bet and you put $30 here as your lay. Well, this extra check is what they call the cap. And whatever's under the cap is what the lay pays, okay? So if a 7 comes, you're going to get 25 and 10, okay? Let's say, for example, let me upgrade this, okay? So everybody is with me on the same page. Let's say you put $12 here, okay? Every check needs a mate, right? On the 6 and 8, right? But whatever's under that mate is what it pays, okay? So if I just pick up these $2, that's what it pays. $12 pays 10, okay? $12 pays 10. Let's look at if I lay 18 bucks. I take an $18. The cap is $3, okay? Those are all the mates. All I do is take away the mates, and that's what it pays, okay? The $15, okay? Remove those mates, and that's what it pays. And the great thing about it, works up all the way up to, let's say you got 60 bucks. Every check needs a mate. Take away the mates, that's what it pays, okay? So a lot of consternation on the lays on the 6 and 8, but now we know that if it's a good place bet, it's also a good lay. And you just take away the mates, and that's what it pays, okay? All right. Now we're going to go to what I call direct lays, okay? So there's a few ways that those work. Now, a direct lay is you putting money directly behind the bet, okay? Directly behind the number, all right? And getting paid true odds. And for that, you have to pay a commission. So, for example, okay, if you're going to bet against the 4 and 10, which is a very, very common and popular no bet or lay bet, right? It's going to pay half. So you remember 2 to 1 on the other side, right? There's 3 ways of the 4 and 10, 6 ways of the 7, right? So your 2 chips is going to pay you 1 chip. 4 chips is going to pay you 2 chips, okay? 6 tips is going to pay you 3 chips, and so forth and so on, all the way up, okay? So whatever you bet against the 4 and 10, you're going to get paid half. And when I say against, that means you're hoping for the 7 before the 4 and 10. And for the privilege of being behind the number or against the number, you have to pay a 5% commission on the win, And you're going to be like, David, how do you keep track of all this? Well, it's very simple. Let's say someone gives me $50 and they say, I want a no 10. I'm hoping a 7 comes before the 10. The dealer will take this, and they see it's going to pay half. So half of this is going to be a quarter. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a button on it, a lay button, to show that this bet is against the 10. This person's looking for a 7 before the 10, right? And I know it's going to pay $25. Now, some places do what's called auto lay. Other places you have to pay up front. Now, for every $20 that you win, you're going to pay $1 commission, okay? But because we give you a little bit of a break on this here in Vegas, so for example, this $50 no 10 would pay $25 if the 7 comes before the 10. And we only charge you $8 for that. So for the first 20 that you win, you're going to get charged $1. Up to the first quarter, we're still going to charge you $1, okay? Then next, if a $40 win is going to get charged $2, but the first 2 green ones will also get $2. So for example, if you gave me $100, if you give me 4 green chips and say I want a no 10, guess what? It's going to win $50. I'm going to charge you $2 for the privilege of getting true odds against the 10, okay? Is everybody with me? Do we have some people saying, hey, wait, what? Okay, well, anyways, it's one of those things where it takes a little time. Now, the way that you bet this is very simple. You just set the money in the cum right in front of you and say, hey, dealer, I would like to bet against a number, or I would like to take a direct lay against the number. Now, for those of you that think that the 4 and 10 is safe, you know, you have to bet a lot to win less. You got to bet double to win half, right? You have to bet twice as much money to win half as much money. So in my opinion, they're terrible bets because of how much more you have to bet to win less. Now, on the 5 and 9, you remember the true odds are 3 to 2 because there are 4 ways of the 5 and 9 each and 6 ways of the 7, 6 over 4, 3 over 2, you see? So you have to bet 3 units. You have to bet 3 units to win 2 units. Everybody with me? 3 units to win 2 units, you see? So for every 3 units, you'll win 2 units. So if a player walks up to me and says, gives me $75 and says, I would like a no 9, or I would like a direct lay on the 9, I know that 3 units is going to pay 2 units, right? So this 3 green is going to pay 2 green, and so the cost of the player is going to be $2. And I will put the money behind the box, put a lay bet in on it, you see, and now they're all squared away. Now, there's a lot that comes with this when it comes to order of operations and where we put this and how it's paid. That's a whole different lesson that you'll find in our craps dealer course that's
Which
coming
is not
soon.
yet.
Yeah, it's coming soon, man. We've worked so hard on this. I know everybody's been very patient and waiting for it, but we break it down into every level you can ever imagine. So if you're looking to be a dealer, you pay these in order. I mean, you'll see. Okay, now let's get to the 6 and 8. Every 30 that you bet against the 6 and 8 is going to pay you 25, just to keep it easy. Okay, every 6 will pay 5. All right, but most of the time, most of the tables here in town are a little bit higher. So every 30 is going to pay you 25. So if you set $60 down in front of the dealer and said, hey, I would like no 8, or I would like to bet against the 8, some places you would have to pay $2 up front, and other places are going to charge you $2 once you hit it. Okay, once you hit it, okay? Now, here's the thing. So in this case, I got $60 no 8. If a 7 comes before the 8, I'm getting paid $50. And now you would say to the dealer would say, hey, would you like to come down on this bet, or would you like to stay up? You can actually pay to stay up, that kind of thing, all right? Is there any questions yet, or should I?
There's a couple questions.
Oh, really?
Okay. Can you explain when to heel or bridge your bet?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Okay, are you ready here? Well, let's. I'm gonna finish that in 2 seconds. Let's talk about this very quickly. So, whenever you want to interact with a dealer and understand how these work, it's okay to ask questions, right? Don't ever hesitate to say, listen, I want to win X amount of money, and then just set it up, that way, and just say, hey, dealer, I want to win $50 betting against the 8. What is it going to cost me? I want to win $30. I want to win whatever the case is. So that's another way that you can kind of interact with the dealer and kind of understand. All right, let's move on. All right, now also one last thing. By the way, if this doesn't hit and you decide to take it down, which you can't turn these bets off. They're always working, okay? But you can decide to take it down. It's an optional bet. So you could, at any point, you could say, hey, take me down from behind the 8. And if you paid a commission, if you had to prepay the commission, you get the commission back. Okay, that's credit to you, all right? So that's why a lot of places now, they don't even take out the money. They take out the money when you win. They don't have you pay up front. But if you do pay up front for the lay and you take it down, make sure to get your commission back. All right, let's talk about the bridge. So the bridge is very interesting, especially if you're a dealer. I've worked at 13 different casinos over my career, and all of them require you do what's called a bridge on the lay, all right? So let me show you how that works. Let's say, for example, we have a $5 game. That's the best way to kind of say, let's actually say $10, because every bridge works at $10. Okay, so let's say it's a $10 game. We have someone started on the don'ts. Can they see this don't?
Yes.
They can see this don't? Okay. They start on the don't pass, right? They had their bet there on the coming out roll. We've marked the 4. 4 is now the point. Oh, let's say 10's the point. Keep the puck over here. Okay. Now, if what's under the bridge is the same number and color of chips as the payout, you bridge. Okay, what's under the bridge. Now watch this. So in order to win $10, you would have to lay $20, all right? The bridge is the money that's on top.
I'm going to put it here so they can
so they can see. Because I'm going to break it down for others. So you see where if you bet 20, okay, reverse odds, you're going to win 10. So if you win, okay, if your reverse odds or lay wins the same number and color of checks as what's underneath the bridge, okay, you must bridge, okay? All right, so here, I have $10 started with against the 10, okay, on the don't pass. If I lay 20 bucks, it's going to pay 10, which is 2 red chips, 2 red chips. You can only do this with one color. All right, now, you're going to be like, let me show you. Let's say, for example, you had $12 here. And let's say someone put $24 here. You can't do it. Guess why? It's 2 colors, you see? And it would look silly. People would laugh at you, you see? You can't hit this twice. You see how there'd be 4 reds and 12? You cannot hit this twice. Now look at this. Another way to look at this is if can you hit it twice? Can you just bump into this twice? All right? Yes. I can go boom, boom, just like that. You see? Twice. Bump
And
it
when he says bump into it twice, he means still being correct, not just
I mean,
bump.
still being incorrect. Yeah, I mean, I can bump into anything twice, dude. You know, most of the time I'm satisfied with just once, but sometimes twice. Okay, now watch this. Now look at this. Let's say someone had $15 here. They started with $15. We came out on the point at 10. What pays 15? 30. Okay. So let's say someone took 6 nickels, and you could just see, because this 30 is going to pay 15, which is the same number and color of checks in each pile under the bridge. You see, and so I can just bump it twice, bumpity bump. You see, 15 and 15. Now, what happens if they went ahead and put a green one and a red one? This is 32, pays 15. Well, I have 2 colors here. 1 color, 2 color, can't work, okay? How am I going to do this? This will look weird. It's going to look very weird, and if I do this, I can't double bump it, right? Because it's supposed to pay, you see? It's supposed to pay 30 bucks or $15 each, you see? Okay, now, let's do this. Let's do 5 and 9, okay? The best way to learn this is visually, right? Yeah. We went someplace yesterday and got sick. It's so weird. Like, I could feel my brain just, like, skipping. Okay, here we have $10. Let's say they started with $10 on the don't pass, okay? Now, what lay wins 2 red nickels, right? 2 red checks. 15 bucks, because 3 wins 2. So if someone were to put down $15, we can then bridge it. Okay, we can bridge it. All right. Now, if they had $15, we can't bridge it. They would need $22.50. There's nothing that can do that. If they put $20, if they had $20 on the don't pass, on the come out roll, came out to point of 9, and they had 6 checks here, 30, right? Well, look at that. What's underneath the bridge? 4 red chips. Okay. Flatbed is 4 red chips, 4 red chips. 30 pays 20. 30. Okay. 30 pays 20. Okay. Every 3 pays 2. 2, 2. Here's 2 stacks of 15, pays 2 stacks of 10, that's 20 bucks. So we can bridge it. Okay. And when you can bridge, you must bridge. Casinos love bridges. We like to build bridges. Okay, all right, now, next up is 6 and 8. This is where it's going to throw you a little bit. So let's work it. Let's say someone had $10 on the don't pass. We came out on the point of 8. Now watch this. We're going to get into a little bit of 2 colors, but remember what I said. What's under the bridge? Under the bridge. Because if someone bets 12 as reverse odds or a lay, okay, we're going to do this. And now what is under the bridge? If we take out this $2, 10 and 10. 12 pays 10. That's what I started with, 10 bucks, right? So the bridge pays 10, or the lay pays 10, the flat bet pays 10, bam. And we have 1 color and 2 chips, 1 color, 2 chips, double bumpy, double bumper, okay? Okay, so, and then we can keep going up. So for example, let's say someone started with 15, okay? Okay, we started with 15, point came on at 8, guess what reverse odds pays 15? $18. Remember what we said? What's under the cap? What's under those mates? Right? So $18 reverse odds is going to pay $15. Okay? And guess what $15 is? 3 red chips, 1 color, 1 color. Bam. You see? Those are the only conditions that have to be met. Now watch this. Let's say we're coming out and this person bets $25 on the don't pass. We'll come out a point of 8. Guess what pays $25? You guessed it. $30 reverse odds or lay pays 25. And look at this. What's under the bridge is 1 green. That's what it pays. 30 pays 25, which is 1 green chip. And I have 1 green chip and double bump. Okay? So that's when we bridge. So for example, let's say we had $75 here. $75, and someone put $90 here, right? Guess what? If we take out the mates, we know 90 pays 75, which happens to be 3 green chips. And now we can bridge it. 3 green chips, 3 green chips, and we can double bump. You see what I mean? Just like that. All right, what do you got? Anything else? That was a good one. I love the bridging ones. I've never worked anywhere where they didn't want to bridge. Never.
Oh, which pays better, the lay or the don't come?
So let's be.
I'm guessing they mean direct lays versus a don't come.
Yeah, so I mean, I personally would not risk going to the DC. I feel like if you're going to incorporate a strategy, the DC strategy, because the biggest risk you have is this one, right? When it's actually in the DC. And so once it goes behind the DC, the benefit is that you don't have to pay for the lay. So, right, you get like, so let's say we go behind the 9 and now we can take $60, right? And we get that for free. We don't have to pay for this lay. But really, okay, bear with me, right? So 60, if we did a $60 direct lay, right? That's going to win $40. That only costs us $2. This opportunity cost is $10. I would rather pay the $2 and have a direct lay than risk did I do this for 60? Yeah. Then risk the DC. You see? I feel like the opportunity cost is much less when it comes to going directly behind the number and just eliminating the DC entirely. In fact, I'm not a big fan of hedging systems. I will show you the one system that I've had a lot of people play, because it's not just about the hedge and mitigating the wins, it's also about how to recover. If someone shoots a hand and you're literally, either laying or betting on the don'ts, you got DCs going, you're just going to get crushed so quickly. But I am going to end this with a strategy, a very quick $120 bet. Some of you that have been following have already seen this strategy. It's a very interesting strategy. People have not been I've had a few people who have had some success with it, but it's just one of these, anything you play on the don'ts is mostly just a grinding strategy, really. It's hard to really, get ahead. It's
No
like
opportunity.
It has very little opportunity to win, yeah. And using don't players feed into this very conservative mindset. You're looking to hedge or mitigate your losses. You're on this sort of reverse path when it comes to you're trying to get out, break even, win a little bit, yeah.
So it said both can be picked up. Aren't they contract bets?
No, don't pass is not a contract bet. You can take them down anytime. You can't turn this off. For example, if we're coming out, you can't say, hey, take my don't pass off. Off is literally in your rack is off, right? That's why, again, we encourage you to use Crapsy so that you can practice. And you'll see the contract bets and how they're designated, right? But at any time, you can literally remove your don't pass bet. So if you start with a don't pass bet, what a lot of people do is they'll come out on a number, and they'll 6 and 8, and they'll pick it up. Yeah. I mean, and they don't want to bet against, which is silly, by the way, because now you're in a great position. Once you come out on a point, don't pass is a fantastic place to be. You're getting paid even money, even though you're favored to win. You see, so it's a great way to play. It's a great way to be. All right, what else?
So it said, is that one of the folding phones?
Huh?
They can see your phone.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. Don't buy that phone, dude. It's a terrible phone. Absolutely. This is my 4th one. 3 of them under warranty. So it's a terrible phone. If you open it a lot, just forget about it. It'll eventually sound really crunchy, and it will die on you. I mean, it's just I got the extended warranty, but you still got to pay $99 for them to even though it's anyways. That's another show.
Some casinos make you bet some casinos make you place a 6 and 8 for 30 if the minimum is 25.
That's crazy. By the way, that shouldn't be a thing. Here in Vegas, if the minimum is 25, you can bet 25, right? And here's the thing, right? Because these bets are going to pay 29, okay? And if you press it all the way up, now you have a good bet, 54, pays 63. I've seen a lot of people play strategies just like this. I don't understand why. I think it's more out of ignorance in many cases, unless you're in a jurisdiction that requires you to bet. I do know that there are some jurisdictions that require proper bets. So you're only allowed proper bets to take advantage of the full odds. They don't allow you to bet. It's literally like a state law, a state PAC thing, where that requires you to bet incorrect units and pay big on correct units, that kind of thing. But here in Vegas, we literally don't care. I've seen many people walk up to a $25 table with $100, and they just, two bullets, six and eight, $25 each. And they still know the game. Again, if it's either one of these hits, boom, it's gonna go to 54, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, they don't need to see that. Yeah. All right. What else?
Is it better to play three-way 7 as a hedge for your don't come, or just risk it without hedging?
I would see the thing is when you're hedging, you're feeding into that same mentality of betting the don'ts, trying to mitigate, especially if you're using the don'ts as a hedge, you're already mitigating. Now you're trying to mitigate the bet that you're using to mitigate, right? Like you're just cutting into profit zone. Here is. I mean, I can show it to you, but I mean, it's just so crazy. I'm trying to think of what that system is the guy had. So he has this. So he actually will bet it here. He'll start it. Oh, that's what it is. He starts it there. And then he's got this. I mean, it's the craziest thing. He's got no 4, a don't pass. And then he'll he hedges the 7. I mean, it just gets crazy. It makes no sense. All you're doing is shuffling money to kind of grind out little bits of bets. The real problem is the big hedges that you have that are, again, so like, here you have, and I know that people refer to, where you tier, you ladder, you martingale, whatever the reference is. Listen, I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and there's a lot of people with many different strategies, and God bless them, and we love that more people come to the casino. Craps was beat roulette last year for winning and for games, so it's definitely there's definitely a resurgence, and I feel that again, the game only works one way. You can say something else, and you can pretend that there are other opportunities. But many of them just don't pan out in real life, and you guys can play that out and experience that for yourselves. I'm telling you what I have seen over my 34 years, by the way, now of experience interacting with this game, right? So you could take it or leave it, but I guarantee you, like the number of don't pass winning stories I have is 2, okay, 2, and all that, and number of pass line or place bet winning stories I have. Even field parlay winning stories I have is umpteen. You see, the game only works one way. It's all about risk leveraging. It's all about understanding what your tolerance is and leaning into strategies that get you out, get you emotionally detected. In fact, if you didn't have to be emotionally disconnected, triple X is probably the most powerful. If you just come with enough bullets and want to gamble, that guy that I dealt to that went from 500 to 240,000 did so because he was just all in every time and happened to catch a ridiculous roll. But if it comes to strictly understanding how bullets on a game, meaning chances on a game, and risk leveraging, the reason why we teach you to get out and regress, or like double tap, where we're going back on the same number, GM spin, is because I know that you're human, you know what I mean, and you assign value to these bets. And you have to get away from that value, and when the way to get away from that value is to look at your rack and go, okay, I'm breaking even. Now I can, exercise some risk. You follow?
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I'm a big squeeze play player, because I can't let go unless I get my money back.
Yeah. Like I just had a couple in just now. They like to spend time. So their thing is it's a balance thing. They want to win, but they also want to spend time at the casino, which is great. Because if you come with that, if you know your mentality, if you know who you are and you accept those conditions, I did that video on how bets lie. We put money down to pass line, talked about, and everyone's like, well, you don't understand, David. You can take 100 times odds this casino. The number of people that take 100 times odds is, not many. Those of you that are betting $5 on the pass line and $500 odds, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? But there are so few of those people they got rid of that promotion because no one showed up to play that. I mean, a few people did, right? But there are people who are going to bet $500 anyways, right? Which is crazy because now, if you bet $5, if you go to a 100 times odds house, right, and you bet $5 on the pass line with 500 odds, you're a $5 player. As far as the casino is concerned, you get 0 credit for those odds, even though you've got 500. You got a purple chip there, and you're going to be like, but David, what do you mean? There's no theoretical win for the casino. Most casinos give you 0 action on odds. Some of them will give you a little bit just to say, hey, thanks for risking your 5 purple chip with us. But for the most part, you're a zero sum. Whereas if you put that money on the place bet, guess what? Now you're a baller and you're getting baller points. So there's also that, right? So like, there's so many people like, well, I take 4 or 5. No, you don't. If you go to a craps table, humans take 2 times odds. Some of them take 5 times odds. There are a few of you out there that love pass line and odds and come bets, and you have your 10 times odds, but there's not many. Right?
And the other thing is you're only risking it on 1 number.
Or 2 numbers, or whatever the case is, if you're a come better, right? Whereas the place bet is sort of a cross or insight systems. You're creating a lot more opportunity. I did say I was going to show them the one don't pass. Let me, before I forget.
Here, there's a couple questions.
Okay, go.
This one's quick. Do you tell the dealers to work your odds on the don'ts if the puck is off, and why?
Yeah, you have to. There's no option to turn them off.
So it's working at all times.
Yeah, if you want to come down on your odds, it's just down. There's no off option. So anything that's behind, you can always take these down. So if you end up either direct lays or going through the DC, you could say, hey, take down my 6 and 8, and they'll just give it down. You cannot turn them off because they all win on the 7, right? So unlike these numbers need the individual number, right? Or they all lose on the 7. And by the way, the casino is favored to win if you're betting on the numbers here. They're going to let you take these down all day long. So if you tell the dealer off, basically off is in your rack. They're just going to take it down.
Yeah, that includes the lays, even if you had them while the puck was on.
Yeah, the direct lays, you can't turn direct lays off. They would just hand them back to you with your commission. Yep.
What's the general view on hedging, yay or nay?
Nay. So I hate hedging because so hedging money, it's not the think about this. It's a valid argument to say, hey, I'm going to bet, let's just say I have a $200 no 4 and I got 110 action on the inside. And so if I lose my inside action, a 7 rolls, I'm going to win this $100, really $95, and I'm going to recover most of my money, right? So there's the hedge. The problem isn't that. The problem is the 4. The problem is if the 4 rolls even once in a while and I lose that $200, these $25 bets, the 110 inside, aren't paying you enough to recover. And if you follow some of what we do on roulette, it's not always the hedge that's the key. It's how quickly you can recover when you get a devastating loss. And a devastating loss is you rolling the 4. I have another friend that's been coming to Vegas, and I've been working with him, in his sort of comfort zone. And he'll not just bet the inside, he'll bet the no 4 and the hard 4, right? So he's hedging the no 4 with the hard 4, and so now he's mitigating the opportunity he gets with the 7. You see, so like, you can keep going down this rabbit hole, but that's just not how the game works. If you're around a table long enough, people cheer and win and color up predominantly when someone rolls numbers, you know what I mean? And then everything is and then the rest of it is you the human, how you bet, what kind of risk you're capable of absorbing, and what's your real goal on a table. And most people don't put those things into play. They don't manage their money. They don't come with the discipline and a working strategy and the correct bankroll. All these things will play a factor, which is why the hold on this game is like 16% when it should be just a couple. It could be a couple percent. You follow? This is a great game for players if the player knows how to play the game. But most people who come to Vegas just not well informed. Yeah. Oh, so here, can I do the 120? Okay, so let me show you this.
Let me show the table.
Yeah, here, let's show the table this 120. Okay. So, part of my career, I have come across a lot of don't players, obviously, right? And one of the most interesting don't players I ever had was this germaphobe who used to come out with the mittens, big mittens, and he would play $600, no 6 and 8. Okay, And I would ask him because, you know, I'm David. I ask stupid questions. What the hell are you doing over here, buddy? Well, you're betting everybody runs from the 6 and 8. Why are you leaning into the 6 and 8? Here, let me get this. Let me see. This is a purple and a black. Now remember, when we say every check needs a mate, well, here's that example, right? Every purple needs a black one, and what's under the mate is what it pays. You see? So this gentleman would sit right here in his mittens, and I mean, swear to God, winter mittens like the kinds your mom used to clip to your jacket, with just the finger holes and the thumb. That's it, just the mittens. And he would dump his checks onto the game, and he would stand right next to base. Okay, so he'd put $1,200 down, right? Now, each of these bets against the 6 or the 8, no 6, is going to win 500, 500. But he's going to have to pay $50, okay, if there were 7 rolls, all right? And then he'll get $950 for these bets. Now, watch this. It's a very interesting thing. Let's do the logic, all right? So when the puck is off is when he bets this. When everybody else, guess what they want? They want a 7. He wants a 7. So even though he's on the don'ts, he's technically playing with the table. He's betting $1,200 to win $950, but in fact, he's only risking one of these. The worst case scenario is you're going to come out on a number, you'll lose $600, right? Now, what he'll do is, well, he'll take these down, okay, but he only bets on the come out. But imagine this. You remember when I talked about earlier how quickly you can recover? Well, imagine this. If you move this forward, okay, or even left it here, you know, but if you move it forward, you're going to get 700 for this 600, right? 600 pays 700. Or if you left it here, you would get $475. Okay, so your recovery is just one hit. You're just one thing away from recovering this bet. So both of those paradigms sort of play out for this gamble, right? So again, $600 to win $950, but you're only risking, or $1,200 to win $950, you're only winning $600. Now watch this. So here's what David did with this. David put a little spin on this baby, and you put $120 against the inside numbers, okay? No 5, no 6, no 8, no 9. You're risking $120. The black ones are worth 100, okay? So you're risking 120. You're not risking 120. You're betting 120 to win $86. For 7 rolls, you win each one of these bets, okay? The 5 and 9 is going to win 20 each. The 6 and 8 is going to win 25 each. And after you pay the vig, you're going to be plus $86. But here's the thing. You're only risking $30. Even though you have $120 out there, you're only risking $30. So if the worst thing that can happen is you come out on a number. Now watch this. So you're risking $30. Now you either leave these, and the very next roll you recover what you lost if it's 7 rolls, or what I like to do is I move these forward, and now I just need one hit, one of these numbers to hit, and I recover the 8 that I lost, you see? And we have a few people that have used this system to sort of justify. So one way I play these is very simple. If a 7 comes, okay, I collect my $86. And if I'm on a 15 table, add $10, go to 96 across, you know what I mean? I take all these downs. I always go to the positive side of the game, right? Or what happens is if I come out on a number, so if the 8 comes out, I still have $90. I move this forward, and I try to hit just one of these, and then I lean into the roll. So I get back. I mean, my whole thing is, see, I try to get even as quickly as possible. Oh, you're smiling. What do we got? We got an interesting question or no?
I'll tell you after.
Okay. I mean, that's it.
Okay. Sign off.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little lesson. Make sure to check out our fan filler event, and I'll see you guys next time. And we're off to Keynote to unwind.
And the truth is.
Bye.